Hey y'all, it's Indigo here, coming at you with Season 2. We're in Week 1, and this is Round 1 of the Grand Arena Championships. I'm a little bit behind, but here's how the first round went. By the time I logged in, my opponent had cleared all my teams in one shot. So he got 1901 banners, and he one-shot everything. It was real tricky because of what he put on defense. Like, check this out. I mean, he threw Ewoks up front, but then he had his Grievous team, blocking that area. And then if you go up top, I'll show you what he had up there. He had some Night Sisters, and then he also had his Karth team. And this is kind of what threw me for a loop. He's got L3 in there as the 5th. So instead, we'll go ahead and take out the Night Sisters real quick. I like to use my Imp Troopers. Now that I got them whipped into shape, you can see I got Gear 13 on Stark, Snow, and Range. I got decent relics on them, and I put the Zeta on Stark. I really got their mods down and put a lot of work into them so they can take out Night Sisters pretty reliably now. So this is me kind of testing them out now that I got all the mods where I want them and decent relics and everything. And you can see how this battle goes. Goes pretty well, if I may say so. The turn order's right. Everything's dialed in. So this is all you do. Just do it like you would when you see me take out bounty hunters. Just go for a weak one. Get a quick kill. Once you do that, you help start the turn meter. Throw Death Mark on there so that MT can't come back. And just go for the next kill. Start working on taking out Daka. Getting Asajj down. And once I hit the AoE with Snow, can do some really heavy damage. So that's it. You see I just got Zombie left there and took her out. Quick 60 banners. So that went pretty well. This is where it did not go well. So Karth team, I like to use my First Order team. This is my kind of preferred counter. Works pretty well, and most of the time you can get 60 banners. But with L3 in there and having her constant taunt makes things pretty difficult. So I wanted to try something, and I took out First Order Officer and put in Wampa, and I figured, maybe Wampa could throw some days out there and also power up and hit hard enough that he'd be able to start knocking people out, with his AoE, or once he got around the taunt to be able to just one-shot somebody. But the way it works out, you get stuck under L3 so much that you can't really do anything. And then Mission, constantly assisting, ends up throwing days on everybody. And so you can see that everybody's days, they're not gaining turn meter like they should. And it really kind of shuts down the First Order as a counter to this. Once you can't get a quick kill on Mission or take out Canderous or Karth, I like to get one of those three out because they're the squishiest ones. And you can't focus on that. You got to spend all your energy taking out L3 as the tank. And so I finally did take her out. But you can see by the time I did that, I had already lost my Executioner. And that's my big heavy damage. Being able to call Executioner in there and get rid of Taunt when you need it sometimes, and being able to get those big hits in is pretty key. And so here now, you can see that it's just my crew and Kylo and Wampa left, and I'm stuck against these three. And by the time I get Mission down to, half health, Zalbar's over there taunting, and there's no way to get rid of it because I don't have Executioner. I think if he was still alive, it would make a difference. But as it goes here, you can see I've just kind of sped this up because there went Wampa, and it just kind of goes through the motions. I was trying to see if I can get him down any lower, and there's, nothing I can do. I had already killed Karth at least, and then being able to kill L3 makes it an easy cleanup. But when your opponent already put 1901 banners on the board, that's tough to come back from a loss. It can be done, and I know some people that do that, and they're really efficient, but it also depends on what your opponent sets on the board. So that didn't go well. We'll go down here and just take out some of these teams real quick. Use my Darth Revan. I kept out my Fallen Bastila to be able to throw her on an EP team. I kind of like to do that because she really supercharges that team. And Darth Revan makes for a really good counter to Grievous because he can do just the heavy damage, the constant AoEs, everybody's hitting hard. So it's a really nice counter if you can spare it. And this time, I really couldn't guess what my opponent was going to put down for defense. So I kept my Darth Revan because he had some counters built up. I figured it would be kind of a waste to put it on defense. And he was just, more efficient, being able to go through, one-shot everything, and get pretty good on banners. Whereas, I struggled that. I really wanted to try that Karth team. I mean, I could have gone in with CLS or something, but you don't get much time to test things out. So I did want to test that. Here I knew Darth Revan would work against Grievous, and so that's why I used it. I mean, you can see that it's not a struggle for them at all. They got through it. Now is just the Ewoks that he had put up there. And I went in 4-man with my EP team. Got EP Vader, Fallen Bastila, and then Tarkin. You don't need a 5th on here. You don't really need a Shore. I mean, you could, but it's Ewoks. And they go fast enough that they can pretty much move before the other team gets to move at all. But this ain't a game where I'm worried about, I have to get 61 banners here or 62 here. I mean, I know I'm fighting from behind after that loss to the Karth team. So I pretty much, don't have hopes of being able to pull out the win here. But I just wanted to get through this Ewoks and see what's on the other side without burning something decent. So here I am. It's just business as usual. This team is lightning fast, and I did get 61 banners, so I guess that's good. Worked on some underman feats. Now back there in the back, he stuck his Revan, and he put just a weak Phoenix team. So right here is where I really lost it, and I'll show you. Stop it right here. You can see that everyone's got target lock except Sith Trooper, and because he doesn't have target lock, that means he's going to self-taunt as soon as somebody uses their specials. And that messes up this whole counter team. So T3 puts down his debuffs. Grievous, you're supposed to crawl and take out Bastila. And then you're supposed to crawl again and take out Malik. But see here, I can't do that. I had to AoE and see what I could do there because Trooper was taunting and I couldn't get to Malik. So now I'm just stuck trying to see if I can get him weakened, and they had already taken out T3, so he doesn't share that critical damage for all the debuffs. And now it's just Grievous against a lone Malik, and 99% of the time, you're going to lose this one. As soon as he does that drain life, it's over. So, ended up going 2 battles on my enemy's DR team. Counter worked decent, but it left me with a lone Malik, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, nothing I could have done different. It's just that's the way it works. And so got left with that Malik to clean up. I just threw my JTR team at it because I wasn't going to use them for anything else. And they're pretty good about keeping him stunned, being able to take off turn meter, and they get plenty of turn meter from their exposes. So if you happen to have them spare, you can see I don't have BB-8 in here because obviously I just used him with the Grievous team. So they work fine with cleaning up just a lone Malik. Got 39 banners for that. But at this point, like I said, there's nothing. My opponent had one-shot everything. and it would be hard coming back from one failed battle, but this is 2 of them that I dropped. So I just start dropping my top counters. I got Jedi Knight Revan left, so I figured to go ahead and use him, throw him against the leftovers on that Karth team. And they're a pretty easy cleanup because they get no lead bonus, but they do still have the Zetas. There's a lot of synergy between Mission and Zalbar, so they do constantly heal and gain protection back. It's pretty frustrating, but, you know, a solid team. I definitely learned something from that, you know, that defeat. I'm going to start throwing L3 in with my Karth team and making it that much tougher so that someone can't use First Order and just walk away with 60 banners. That is a great, you know, great tip, great strategy to use. So I'm glad that I at least learned something. It's unfortunate that it, you know, cost me, but definitely a good team to throw out there and make your opponent have to make tough choices. So cleaned up with Jedi Knight Revan. Now you can see what's in the back there. And he's just got Geos and a First Order team back there. And like I said, I still got all my top counters. So that's why I'm throwing Padme against First Order. I don't want to save anything for anything. And of course they work well. They're a top team. And my Anakin is Relic 7, so he can do some work. You see when he does his AoE, he just took protection off everybody and, you know, started working on some health. And so Padme, they got their protection up. Not really worried about losing this match. I went in with 4-man trying to work on my underman feats. Figured if I'm going to lose, I might as well at least try and get some feats done. You know, do what I can to get some extra points. So got 60 banners for that one. Not too bad. And then for bugs, instead of throwing my Jawas in here, since I had Traya left over, I figured I might as well do the Traya thing and throw 3-man Traya against his bugs. It's a little bit more points, which even though that's not a win, you know, it's more banners. And more banners here and there might add up. You never know. I might need it for something. So that's why I did this, just to, again, practice on this and see how this goes. And they work pretty well with 3. I don't know that I would trust it now with 2, especially if you're going against higher relic bugs and you've got R7, Alpha and Brute, or Spy or somebody in there. I wouldn't trust that because Scion will get really low. You can see that he's red barred already. And so I almost lost him, but then I get his Held by Hatred off. Once you have that, you're pretty much set. But he got close, and he's Gear 13, Relic 1. So, I mean, he's pretty stout. And he got red barred, so you got to be careful with that. That's why I wouldn't really recommend doing just 2 if it was just him and Traya. But knocking them out, y'all know it's not a big deal. Got 60 banners for that. Done with that team. Now I just got to take out his low gear Phoenix. And that's frustrating. It is low gear, like gear 8 and stuff on some of those Phoenix. And so I just send in CLS, Han, and Chewie. And they're stacked. It got like Relic 2 on Chewie, Relic 7 on Han. You can see it's no trouble for them to just tear through this battle. It's ridiculous, though. But it's, you know, it's unfortunate. You got to go super light and go heavy on offense if you want to score max banners and have your shot at Kyber, which is the way the scoring system works. But it is what it is. So I'll take my lumps and move on. I got 1873 to his 1901. Not a whole lot of fun there, but that's my round 1. Y'all make sure and tune into my round 2. I'm going to work on that next because that was really good. Shout out to my buddy Mikayas. He runs a modding service. He'll go through, make sure you got the right squad compositions and the right mods on the right characters, give your account a real nice tune-up. I'll put the link to his Discord in my description. Go ahead and check him out. Tell him Indigo sent you. Thanks for watching my video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share your comments down below, and hopefully you'll check out my other videos on my channel. Peace!